What should virgins know about sex? Guys, wash your dick. Guys, also wash your ass. Thoroughly. Beware of the emotional attachment that may come with sex. There's a culture of casual sex considered modern, but you should know that there's some risk of getting attached even if it wasn't the plan. May feel hurt, be prepared for that. And sex gets better with time. You also need to consider the other person's feelings. Having only casual sex with an emotionally attached person is almost the worst you can do to him/her. Yep. And tricking them into thinking you have feelings for them just so you can get into their pants. Don't do this. Porn is like a play. If you try to have social interactions by imitating how actors look/act during a play, it's going to be weird. Same with sex. If you try to imitate porn, it's going to be weird and probably painful, and there's a chance someone's feelings get hurt. Brilliant analogy actually. Analogy. Nice. That it's not like you see in porn. If you're expecting it to be like what you've seen, you're going to be greatly disappointed or end up hurt in some way. Also, make sure the other person is taken care of, too. Porn is as real as any movie. Foreplay is key. This can't speak for men, but women are kinda like ovens. We need to preheat. Women are kinda like ovens. You can fit a family-size pizza inside you. Take the advice Tormund Giant Spain gave Jon Snow. Most men duck like dogs. No grace, no skill. A few dozen thrusts and it's done. You need to be patient. Give her time. Your cock shouldn't go near her till she sliggers a baby seal. And then you go inside. But slowly. Don't jam it in like you're spearing a pig. Use condoms. Make sure she's on some form of birth control. And make sure there's consent. In addition, if neither of you are prepared for the risks involved with having sex, STDs, and pregnancy, then keep your pants on. Agreed. And to add, but don't ever pressure a woman to get on birth control if she doesn't want to. You're free to choose to only sleep with women who are on birth control. But wanting to sleep with a woman does not entitle you to tell her what to do with her body. There's a ton of reasons someone might not want or be able to be on birth control of any form, and they don't have to share their medical history with you in order for their choice to be valid. Same goes for a man. If it applies to him, or if birth control for CIs men becomes a thing. I'm on a roll now. So to hijack your wonderful comment. Use condoms always. Use medical gloves if you or they want. Use dental dams if you or they want. And get tested regularly. And use lube. Learn about affirmative consent and how to ask for and give consent. As well as how to respond to someone shutting down, not answering, saying they're unsure, or saying they don't want something. Think about how you'd like to respond to someone pressuring, shaming, or otherwise harming you. Practice saying no/saying yes/advocating for yourself and checking in on your own wants and needs in non-sexual contexts too, so it's not as overwhelming when you're in a sexual context. Avoiding mind-altering substances altogether when you think you might have sex, especially when you're new to it. It's common for people to combine alcohol and other drugs with sex. But it's totally okay and actually pretty awesome. Not to sex is way more fun for you and your partner or partners when you're all in sound mind and able to notice how you feel and how they're responding. Also, substance use makes consent more complicated and unsure, and no one good wants that. And CIs guys, it makes getting and staying hard. Well, harder. Don't assume that your partner's sexuality or experience is public knowledge. So keep it to yourself, or ask them if it's okay if you talk about it. If they say no, don't feel like you have to keep your own experience a secret. Feel free to talk about it to your friends, just don't reveal their name. If your partner or partners have harmed you, didn't get consent, ignored your saying no, physically hurt you, etc., their right to privacy is revoked. Your safety 100% matters more than their privacy, and their safety matters more than your privacy as well. No one owes anyone sex. Ever. It doesn't matter if they had a bad day, if they spent money on something for you, if they gave you emotional support, If they're your boyfriend slash girlfriend slash partner slash spouse. If you've kissed them slash fooled around slash had sex with them before. If you've had sex with other people. If it's prom night slash graduation slash their day before they leave for college slash war slash Mars. If you've been with them for a long time. Whatever, you do not owe them sex. You do not owe them oral sex. You do not owe them seeing you naked. You do not owe them a kiss, a hug, or a ducking handhold. No one owes anyone sex. That includes sex workers. They're people too. And consent is still mandatory and able to be revoked at any time for any or no reason. Having sex or not having sex doesn't make you cooler, less cool, better, worse, more important, or less important. Stand up to people who believe otherwise, or just ignore them. And don't ever be one of those people who judges another for their sex life. Unless they're a sexual predator, judge the duck out of those people. Part of that means not using words like slut or whore as insults or derogatory comments. Great sex isn't made by fancy positions, body type, stamina, or even experience. Great sex comes from compassion, honesty, kindness, intimacy, self-awareness, and paying attention to how others are feeling. Yes, that goes for casual sex too. You can have all of those things without love, commitment, or hell, even knowing their name. Also, lube as your friend. Sex can be fun. Sex can be boring. Sex can be funny. Sex can be awesome. But it's not the be all slash end all. Live your life. Do what makes you happy. And try not to stress about it. You'll know when you're ready. So don't force it if you're not. Woman, it doesn't have to hurt. If something hurts, something is wrong. Likely you're not wet and ready enough. Or the angle slash position needs to change. Sex should never be painful. And of course I'm not talking about BDSM stuff. That's a whole other ballgame that as a virgin you should not be getting into immediately. I did a heavy amount of research prior to my first time. Honestly had zero problems thanks to the internet. I'm so sad for women who think they've got to bleed and hurt their first time. Friend told me nobody is good the first time. It's amazing how you still want to try sex after the awkwardness of the first time. It wasn't awkward for me the first time. Not at all. I actually don't know how it could be. Like, sex should really only be awkward if you're doing it the first time with a complete stranger. Speaking as someone who's had a few long-term relationships, including one marriage, I'm gonna have to disagree. A. Not everyone's experience is gonna be the same as yours, and the way you worded this would make someone less experienced feel bad if it was awkward. B. Shit happens. At some point you're gonna run into an awkward moment. Might be going hot and heavy, and then air escapes the vagina and sounds like dollar store flubber. If you can't laugh at that in the moment, it's gonna be pretty weird later on. Might even kill the mood. Or maybe you're trying to be sexy and get tongue-tied. Or maybe you're ducking too fast and it slips out and it misses going back in and jab her in the thigh. Or you just don't know what to do, and there's a little awkwardness trying to figure out what you slash they want. Everyone's experience is different, and it's easy for a first time to be awkward when you aren't sure what will please the other person. Make sure it's consensual. It's messy. Bring a towel. Wait, like, have sex on the towel or use the towel after the sex. Both. Unless you want to change the sheet or sleep in sweat and other juices. Sex should be more foreplay than sex. No girl wants you ramming away at them for 45 minutes. 5 minutes. 4 to 5 minutes. That everyone is different. Not everyone likes everything. And talking about what you do like can be sexy. Ladies, pee before. Clean up. Pee afterwards. Always use a condom. You only know your STD history, not your partner's. Birth control is wonderful. Use it. It makes you smart, not a slut. If it hurts, if they are mean, if you want to stop for any reason in the middle, even if you feel bad, you stop and they better respect it. It should be fun, not painful, humiliating, scary, or otherwise negative. Enjoy yourself and tell your partner what is working and what isn't. No one is a mind reader, and people suck at reading sex faces thanks to porn. Most porn shows pain and duck faces turned on. Totally wrong. Both parties should be clearly enjoying themselves during the experience. If it doesn't feel good, try something else. Guys, clean up and pee at least 5 minutes after. It is a no joke and will pull you out of the game for longer than you want. You don't have to put it all the way in to make her feel good. The right spot is about 2 inches in and at the roof of the vagina. You can find it with a bit of simple foreplay. Yes, it will feel different than your alone time activities, so don't worry if your big game plays out differently than your practice sessions. 2 inches in, damn, I'm about an inch too short. Be mentally and emotionally prepared. If you have the slightest doubt, don't do it. The time will come when you're 100% sure. Also, sex and making love are not the same thing. Clean yourself. Going down on funky, smelly bits is unpleasant and off-putting. And this is true for dicks and vaginas alike. Understand the risks associated with sex, which includes pregnancy and STDs. So don't rely on the pull-out method as birth control. Use a condom at the very least. And go a step further and make sure you're on birth control if you're a woman. If you need to use lube, don't mix oil of any kind, including coconut oil, with condoms, because it creates micro tears and holes in the latex and makes the condom pointless. Get a water-based lube if you're using a condom. If you think you might have an STD, or you can't be certain due to a partner cheating, or you're doing a casual fling for example, get yourself tested as soon as possible. Do not wait. Many STDs can go asymptomatic for years and do permanent damage to your body. And finally, consent. Don't rape. It's not cool and even convicts hate rapists. Communicate. Go slow. And use lube and protections. Sex is full of weird sounds. Laugh about them. Don't be embarrassed. Chestfoot said it. Thanks for the silver stranger. It's probably gonna be bad first couple times. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. i.e., if you aren't prepared to get pregnant or be a father. Maybe exercise a little self-control. Don't chance a pull-out if you don't have protection. Edited for typo. Make sure to put the balls in before the dick, but the balls stop pee. Do you need to go to the toilet before then? Always before sex. The experience is not as smooth as you think. Porn is not an accurate example of sex. You mean the triple clit slicer throat ducking anal demon position doesn't actually happen? Bullshit. It will cause them to lose their virginity. The older you get, the more likely you are to encounter an STD, because the older you are, the more partners a person will have had. In an ideal world, everyone gets tested for and discloses. The world is not ideal. Gets better with time. Until you get married. That's why I also have a Tenga flip hole. Bring a towel. That it's okay to do it, and it's fine to like what you like. If you're vanilla, be vanilla. If you're kinky, be kinky. Don't let anyone pressure you into not doing something that you don't or do want to do, as long as both partners consent, obviously. Let her do some of the work too. Shit, yeah, ain't gotta do everything. Always use protection. Doesn't matter what your partner says. Make sure your first time is with someone you care about and special. Do not just go out and lose your virginity just to do it. You will regret it. It is like driving your dream car. Don't race it. Make it last. So, before grabbing your little dirty key, first things first. Behold that car. Watch it. Observe every angle. Enjoy the view. When you think it is time to get your tiny key, it is not. Now you touch it. Feel the door, the window, the doorknob. But don't open it. Not just yet. Make sure to touch every nice parts. Those flashy parts. No. Carefully open the door. Get yourself close and comfortable. Touch those delicate parts almost no one has seen. Rub that tiny wheel until you can recognize it just by touch. Now gently get your key. Be careful, you don't want to ruin the switch nor your key. Nice and easy. Start that engine. This car is standard real sex manual gearbox, not porn automatic. So, start moving nice and slowly. If the car is moving weird or abruptly you are fucking things up. It is a long drive, not a mile race. Keep it easy on the gas. The car will make that noise to let you know when to get the next position of the transmission. Once you get to the third position and feel comfortable, you with that wheel. Touch every part. Take a moment to enjoy that leather smell. Do everything you like, as long as you keep that car riding. But whatever you do, you don't use the brakes. Is a highway, sucker. Enjoy it. Keep it going. Hit the gas. Little by little, let the engine scream. Take it to the 5th or 6th. Until it vibrates. Don't be afraid. Shake as well. Once you did it, you have arrived to nirvana. Don't dare to hit the brakes. No one told you so. May slow it down, but keep driving around nirvana. If I buy a really fast car, you bet your ass I'll be taking it out on the track. 1 in the pink, 4 in the stink. Man of culture. It's probably not going to go perfectly to how you imagine it. Don't be afraid to express your sexual desires. Also, don't be afraid of moaning. You're gonna be bad at first. She won't care, and if she does, run. 1. Consent matters. Your consent and your partner or partners. If someone isn't actively saying yes, treat it as a no. 2. It shouldn't hurt. If something is hurting, either try something else or stop completely. 3. Sex is messy, smelly, slippery, and silly, but most of all, it should be fun. It may even be funny. You're going to get sweaty, messy, slippery, and you're probably going to fall off things, onto things, over, under, and any other form of falling you can think of. You may even get injured from that part, but you need to be able to still say you had fun. You should also be able to laugh when something silly happens. They are not getting any in the next few months. Condoms and consent. Sit with me and let's read the comments, fellow gals. Don't lay there like a ducking starfish. The dick goes in the vagina. I know, freaked me out when I found out also. For the love of all that is good, do not be ashamed to use lube if you need to. Sometimes embarrassing things happen, but it's not a big deal because you're both vulnerable and you'll laugh it off later. Do it with someone special. You should be comfortable, feel safe, and not feel pressured at all. Don't rush into it. It's not worth it. Communication is definitely key. Let your significant other know what boundaries are. Talk to them about your desires, etc., etc. Make sure you have established a connection, and after that, have at it. Sex sometimes isn't about entertainment, it's out of love. When you feel really close to someone and you want to show them you're ready for a more serious relationship. Or is that just me? Queefs are a real thing. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.